Well, hello there. I'm so sorry my room is not in its best form. So I've been trying this application called Postmark, and I've been amazed at how awesome it is. I mean, I spent the whole day taking picture of the stuff that I never use anymore. So I cleaned up my room a few weeks ago and just take picture of all the clothes that I don't want anymore, and I posted it on Poshmark, and apparently I've been making quite a sales. So I'm like, I'll leave it here until maybe a couple weeks, then I'll throw it out to Goodwill or Salvation Army. But that's the reason why all these clothes are around, just to keep me, making money there. Anyways, in today's video, I want to talk a little bit more about something dear and close to my heart, and it's something that defines me in terms of identity, culturally, and just, day-to-day life. Well, as you all know, I am Indonesian. I'm Chinese Indonesian. I was born and raised in Indonesia, and I spent most of my time there, although I've been living in the United States for 9 years. I've gone through college life, and that was quite a change as well. Well, just to give you a little bit of background, so I was born in a Chinese family back in Indonesia, and what that means is there's just a lot of different values that I was born and grown up with compared to other people that was born in Indonesia as like native Indonesian, or people who was born here in the United States. And basically, I can talk about this maybe in as we're talking, but basically in today's video I want to share with you things that I've learned from work. I've been in the IT industry working since I graduated from college, so that was 4 years ago, and there's ups and downs that I've learned as an Indonesian working in the United States. So first thing first, when I was small, I've always thought by my family that you have to work hard to gain something. If you want to be successful, then you need to do a lot, work your butt off. Basically, I feel like the Chinese family, especially my family, teach me to work my butt off, be a doer instead of like a talker. So, I grew up through college, that mentality still works because basically you earn what you do. Like if you study hard, then you get good grades, so that still applies to college. But things that I didn't really know is that I don't have an experience working in in Indonesia, but I feel like working in America is not all about doing things. I feel like in a company, or at least the companies that I've worked with, 4 companies, I feel like the better you're communicating to other people, the better you'll be in terms of career. Like if you're a good talker, if you are good at politics and good at talking to people above you or below you, influencing other people, just really fluent in talking, I feel like you will succeed. I think the challenge there for me is that, first of all, I've always grown up in this culture where I feel like Americans, like white Americans, are more superior than me. So the first time I came to the United States, I was kind of shy because I don't know about Indonesia now, but back home when I was still in Indonesia, I remember if you're a white person, like a white chick, you're pretty much always considered good looking, and you'll be recruited as an actress or a model. So over there, I feel like people look up into like white people. I'm sorry if I'm being racist, but that's just how I feel right now. I feel that initially talking to American people is difficult because I feel like I'm inferior to them. So I think just from the mindset itself, I already set my confidence level too low, so I struggled right there. But through college, I was so proud of myself because I found a couple American friends that I can talk to, hang out with. I felt that it was an accomplishment. For them, maybe it's nothing different because over here, you're so used to, hanging out and being friends with people from other culture, other race. But Indonesia, understand that there's not really different. There's native Indonesian and Chinese Indonesian. There's not really any other, well, there is, but not a lot, at least in my community. So first of all, it's that. Also, I feel like since we were taught to just, study, read the book, I'm not so good with talking, I guess. Like, I know that Americans are so good in, socializing, communicating with other people, but I think as an Indonesian, Chinese Indonesian, it takes a couple more steps for me to actually be comfortable expressing my opinion to people higher than me. I've heard this from my friend in Indonesia. Like, if you were in Indonesia, basically the boss tell you A and you need to follow that, it's A. But it's not the case here. So thankfully, when I was working in McDonald's Corporation, my manager told me to take this class about, how to deal with coworkers or bosses or, like clients from different culture. Yes, for people from Asia, when your boss say something, you need to follow. Basically, that's kind of the norm. But if you work for a company in the United States, it's different. Like, if you don't speak up to your boss, if you only do things but you don't really talk it out, then they consider you as not useless, but you don't contribute. So as subordinates here, you want to be able to communicate what you feel, your ideas, and I feel like I struggled in the beginning with this, but I think the more I feel. So the thing was, my first job was quite technical, so I spent a lot of my time in the lab, and the more I changed the career that kind of lead towards more business side and talking with a team, I think the more I am able to express my opinion, like feel more comfortable working in a team and communicating my ideas. That's good. But yeah, I mean, in general, communicate. The difference is when you're working in America, you just need to be able to good with communication and talking. So really, from that point of mine, clearly there are a couple of points that are different. First of all, you need to be good with communicating, socializing, and talking. And it's not only talking to your other coworkers, but also people higher and lower than you. So that's that. I think the second thing is an emphasis on teamwork. And I feel like maybe in Indonesia it's that too, but I feel like growing up as an Asian, as like Chinese Indonesian, we are so used to working ourselves, because since even in school, yes, sure, we do like teamwork stuff, but I think not a lot. A lot of the time, even when I was in school, yes, you do teamwork, but in the end we just split the work and you work yourselves. So I feel like I don't really have much experience working with teamwork before I went to work. On the other hand, I feel like American people are more open to working in a team, accepting other people's opinion. So that's that. I feel like maybe it's changed right now, but teamwork is definitely a struggle when I first started college and working here. So two things basically out of this conversation. The first thing is that communication, and the second thing is teamwork. And the third thing is making relationships. So it never occurred to me how important relationship is at work. I guess it might be the same in Indonesia, but maybe not quite the same. So as I mentioned earlier in my first point, when you're in Indonesia, your boss is your boss. Your boss is sort of the god of the company. But in United States, it's not quite so. I feel like people on the bottom really drive the top. So that's that. And the reason why I think it's different is how close the relationship between the boss here and the subordinates. In Indonesia, your boss might be off to lunch by himself with the other executive, but really the lower level people don't really go out with them as much. I feel like over here I've encountered some of my coworkers calling my boss or his boss dudes, and like making crappy funny jokes around themselves, and that is actually maybe quite disrespectful in Indonesia. So that's the reason why sometimes I struggle making relationship, friendship kind of relationship with my boss or people higher than me, because naturally the way I grew up and being taught, my mindset think that they're my boss, and that's not how I supposed to interact with my boss. So that's the reason why I think joining American companies was first a struggle for me. So those are my 3 points as of now that I can think of. Really, communications instead of like doing something. And you know what, Asian can always be a doer. Nothing wrong with being a doer. It's just when you want to excel the company corporate ladder, you just need to be able to be good at speaking, and that's not how it is in Indonesia, I feel. The second one is the value of teamwork is much more valued here compared to Indonesia. And the third point is that basically how you interact with your boss is just different. The good news is nothing that practice can solve. So the more I think I join, the more I spend my day just working in an American company, the more I feel Americanized, if I can say. I become more aware of how important communication is, so I just need to speak up to my team, to my boss, and that doesn't come straight right away that I'm successful just like that. I think even right now I struggle just dealing with like communication issues and such. And the second point is with teamwork and making relationship with boss. I think practice can solve that too. Basically start with small talks with your team. I think I always like doing small talk about personal stuff because I don't enjoy work 100% all the time. So if they are interested in buying houses, then talk about their house hunt. If they are interested in mobile technology, if you have any idea about that, you can go ahead and talk about that. If they like food, it's a very general category conversation. You can go ahead and talk about that. Share your similarity, learn about the person, and that is the stuff that can help. So yeah, I just want to talk about that. If you have the same experience like me, thank God I have a friend. But share what you think about that issue on a comment below. I don't say it's an issue. I think it's just a glitch when you're moving from one country or one culture to another. So it's nothing wrong about that. And I may have categorized this as Chinese Indonesian in America, but really maybe that's only my problem. So I don't say that this issue may apply to everyone, but I feel like this is probably a very common issue because I've talked to my family and such, and they think it's normal. So thank you so much for watching me rambling and talking and gasping, but hope you enjoyed my video and hope you have a great day. Bye!